Alright, so we got a lot to talk about in this video because brand new official news just dropped right here from the Outriders team. We're going to be talking about dev news, inventory restoration, and latest news, and much more. This also includes future patches which are being worked on, and also that community appreciation package. We've got brand new details about that, and a question for People Can Fly. They actually respond here. It is, can we please have an update on the co-op, servers, and peer-to-peer? And that is about the server stability and things like that. So yeah, let's dive in. Hey everyone, what's happening? Open World Games here, and let's do this. Hope you're doing good. So yeah, let's first of all dive into this right here. I wanted to make note of the additional other news they had in this blog post. We're going to get into this. It says more patches are coming. It says our team is continuing to work hard on upcoming patches to address a variety of bugs and performance improvements, as well as a few other things. More news on these soon. Furthermore, they're looking into balancing. They say, as an additional small note, we haven't forgotten your feedback on previous balance changes and are working on a post to provide more background on past changes and our overall balancing plans for the game. We'll share an update with you in the near future. And you know, a lot of us really want to know more also about what they are going to be doing with the scaling, down scaling, and that sort of thing, as well as enemy balance, because there's a lot of stuff they have to fine tune going forward. So yeah, they have a lot to do for sure to really make this game into something perfect. Now let's talk about inventory restoration, shall we? Now, it says this, and this comes from the community manager at Square Enix. He says, last week's patch continues to indicate widespread success, and we are very happy to now share some details regarding our intended restoration process. What will be restored? It says, items granted will have the same attribute combinations, but with God roll values. This means that these items will be at least the same, if not better quality than the originally lost items. So that's pretty cool. It says, items will be granted at the character's highest available equip level, taking world tiers and challenge tiers into consideration. Now they are saying this, we are currently dealing with 3 groups of characters, which for the sake of clarity we'll refer to as follows. Group A, unplayable characters with an invalid inventory. These characters lost gear and were no longer playable. Most affected players will be in this group. Now Group B are characters that do not have an invalid inventory but who have lost gear. These characters lost gear but were still playable. Players may have continued playing on these characters since the wipe. These cases are far more difficult to conclusively identify in mass, but are fewer in number. Now, Group C are players that do not have an invalid inventory and who are not lost gear. These are essentially all other players in the Outriders gaming populations who did not encounter an inventory wipe. This is important to know as we want to ensure that our restoration efforts do not inadvertently impact them as well. Now, they say this is important. We are unable to conclusively distinguish Group B from Group C players, which is why our approach to each group is a little different. So, as you can see, this is going to be very interesting. So let's take a look at how they're doing the restoration process. It says Group A restoration. All items, regardless of rarity, that were equipped at the time of your inventory wipe will be restored. Please see the further detail section for more info here. All legendary items that there were in your inventory, please see for the details. Okay. For non-legendary items, 20 previously acquired items that were in your inventory with first prioritization based on rarity descending from epic rarity and second prioritization based on date acquired. Please, okay, we already know that's redundant. It says all fully completed accolades will be restored if you previously reached the final tier of said accolades. In turn, tiers and progress towards any tier of an accolade cannot be recovered. Now, what about Group B? It says up to 20 legendary items there were in your inventory, and this is about restoration again. It says please see and blah blah blah. All fully completed accolades will be restored as well. And Group C says no restoration required, which are people that are basically unaffected as well. Now, you guys are probably wondering, when will the restoration be run, Robbie? They go on to say this right here. We had hoped to provide an exact date for this today, but we do need a bit more time to make sure that the process is running precisely as intended. When running operations of this scale on our database, we want to ensure that there are no instances, where a restoration could have a continued significant negative effect on individual players or the population as a whole. Nevertheless, we are working to an ASAP schedule and fully understand how disappointing it is not yet to have your items back today. They need a sad face on there. It says, to help explain the complexities we have to grapple with to ensure that things don't go awry, please see the next reply here, which would be down here. It says, further details on the restoration process. While we understand that the following information can quickly become a bit confusing, we did want to share it here to better explain the complexity of this issue, as well as any minor restoration quirks you may encounter. Now it says, restoring inventories is unfortunately not a simple restore from backup process. The process for running this restoration actually involves analyzing every Outriders player profile in existence and scanning for possible inventory corruption. Affected characters' item histories are then cross-referenced against our analytics metrics, which in turn inform us which items were lost. That's actually pretty complicated to think that they actually have a system in place that could do that. So yeah, at least they have that system built up in place to do that. They have a bunch of details about this system right here that you can read for yourself. This is getting into like the technical stuff. Check it out. I will throw in the description below. But yeah, all you guys want to know, I think at this point, is the day when you would be able to restore your items. So I will have that date for you guys for sure. But what about the community appreciation package? Let's see. Right here it says, we will deliver the community appreciation package after the inventory restoration process has been completed. Additionally, we would like to confirm that we are looking at doing something similar for anyone who is affected by the wipes and has had their items restored as part of our restoration process. Further details on the deployment hereof will be shared in the future. Below is our original message surrounding. So it's not, so we already went over this in a previous video, so check that out. You're going to be getting an appreciation package eventually someday after the restoration is done and cleared, and that appreciation package is going to include one legendary item, you know, a titanium bundle, that sort of thing. So yeah, but we need a date. We need dates on all this stuff. But what about this question right here? This was a big question out on the community by Vaporer. It says, can we please have an update on the co-op servers peer-to-peer? He says, hello, people can fly. Can you please give us an update on what's going on and how you plan to improve the co-op servers? Now that it appears that the inventory wipe bug is fixed, cross fingers, and we can finally play in groups safely, I know your priority next is to give back people's lost inventory. Actually playing in a group is terrible at the moment, especially when you're not the host. Even as the host, it's not any better, but when not the host, it's extremely bad. When I matchmake and join a group, here are some of the issues I deal with. Major rubber banding, desync, hit registry not working, ability skills not working correctly, especially trickster, hunt, prey, vendor's knife, and time rift mods, talents not working, getting randomly one shot and dying out of nowhere, game crashing or freezing. It says, this is just the tip of major issue I face playing in co-op. It's just not fun, but I can see the huge potential. That's what annoys me the most. Spending already almost 250 hours in Outriders, and it hasn't seemed to get any better in co-op since the demo. I've been playing co-op since launch, so yeah, he really wants to see this fixed. So let's get into the reply. This comes from the community manager, of course. He says this: thanks for kicking this thread off. I'm really sorry you're continuing to encounter these frustrations with co-op connectivity. As a bit of a background for how we've typically dealt with the connectivity issues today, whenever I notice a large group of reports around connectivity issues for the game, I immediately check in with the online team to see if we are encountering any connectivity problems. So it's good to see that he has that direct line to the team, of course. Now let's get into the nitty-gritty of this and exactly what they are going to be addressing here in the future. Now they go on to say the following right here. If they were not already aware, and they are aware most of the time, then they check all our systems and dashboards and either confirm that they are seeing the same issue or ask for additional details, which then I source. Since we resolved the server issue of the launch week, well, a lot of people are saying they're still having server issues, so I'm not too sure that's true. Of course, it was way worse during launch week. He says, our metrics indicate no widespread problems that are impacting the entire community. When we look at ping time for multiplayer games, they generally fall into acceptable ranges. You know, for myself, again, I'm not having major issues, but I am playing mostly as the host for the most part. I've only had a few issues, you know, but that's just me. It's going to differ from person to person, of course. Now we're just going to scroll down through this and get to the point. They say, since launch, we have also made other improvements to co-op connectivity that will have helped players in certain circumstances. The key thing, however, is that amongst all players that are connected online, the number of users with individual issues may not be immediately apparent to us when reviewing our metrics, simply because of the sheer volume of players we're dealing with. That's why we're working with the community is so important. We need to hear from you when things aren't working, but more important, we need a lot of details so that we can reproduce the issues on our end. Reproduction in turn can lead to resolution. I don't know. I feel like they probably need to extend their quality assurance team before releasing these games or something. Furthermore, they say, so therefore I'd like to, in this thread, request the below details if you are encountering specific issues you mentioned. These will help us track down your issue specifically, and if you can think of anything at all that may shed further light on the matter, please do not hesitate to include it. So, yeah, just, include all. If you guys have issues, I will throw the post in the description below, but my opinion is when you buy a game, you shouldn't have to feel like you're a beta tester. That's just my opinion. But anyway, it looks like they have a bunch of questions here for players that are experiencing the major rubber banding desync hit registry not working. Furthermore, we have this right here. This was a concern that was posted in this thread. It says ability skills not working correctly, especially Trickster, Hunt the Prey, Venator's Knife, and Time Rift. The reply here is, I believe these aren't co-op specific and will be patched in the future. Now, what about mods, talents not working in a group, and getting randomly one-shot and dying out of nowhere? It says, I noticed reports of these last week and attempt to investigate this matter further. However, all users who reported it were unable to precisely explain what was happening or were unable to reproduce it. Many reported that the occurrence of this appears to be random. All information that I gathered was passed on, of course, for investigation, but random occurrences are incredibly difficult for us to track down. This is why we need as much information as possible with regard to these matters. And you know what? It's great for those of you that are willing to chip in and help improve the game, of course. Now, what about game crashing and freezes? It says our upcoming patchwork should continue to look into and address these issues, but again, the more detail we have, the better. And he asked about what platform, what exactly were you doing, etc., etc. So if you want to get involved, go for it. So good luck to everyone with that one for sure. And I hope they again really do get this all fixed and addressed. But yeah, there's the official update from the Outriders team. So yeah, no dates. That's the disappointing thing. We have no dates for the restoration, which is a bummer, or the appreciation package. But again, they said they're working on getting dates, of course. And it sounds like it's a complicated process. I'm just grateful that they did put in place this process during the demo, and they did test it, and at least you know that, hey, you can have a sigh of relief that you're going to be getting your legendaries back, your gear back here shortly. So hopefully that does happen soon, very soon. I'll keep you guys in the know as to when exactly that will take place. All right, now it's time to go over your top comments. Let's do this. Remember, leave a comment down below. It could end up in a future video. So let's see what you guys had to say about this video. It says, feel like a god again. How to beat downscaling. Huge discovery. All new updates. Check it out for yourself. It's on the channel. It basically details how you can remove some armor pieces if you are playing on a lower level tier with a friend. And that will enable you to essentially beat the downscaling system that's going on in the game. And it actually does apparently work pretty well. Alright, so let's see the replies to this video right now. We have Tiny Boy who says, people can fly, be like, overall crappy bugs and crap. I sleep. Some dude removed his pants to beat downscaling. Real crap. Alright, so let's keep going. Mickey says this, need the Borderlands 3 system where your game is your level. Gear drops when playing multiplayer. Make it easy to drop in and out when helping friends. That would be cool. You know, they should look to, of course, Borderlands 3 because it's just such a popular game. Now, Ghosting You says this is one of those games that's good to wait 6 months or so until the end of the year and see if most of these issues are fixed by People Can Fly. Isn't that a lot of games nowadays? Oh, Hick says, has everyone forgotten half of us still main characters with no gear? my god. I don't know if it's half. According to them, I thought it was like 20% or 22, 25% or something like that. Orange Alicord says, my friends and I call out AoE every time the Brood Mother or whatever variant she is casts Surge or Ground Spikes. We always assume that we all have to move. The Capper Kid says, yes, finally, no pants needed to play Outriders. That's right. It's interesting that this guy here figured out how to actually remove armor pieces and beat the downscaling system. It's pretty crazy. But thank you all so much for watching. Stay tuned for more Outriders news and updates. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you all next time. Take care.